Does this sound like you? Been failed by your doctors to deal with your gut health issues? All your tests come back normal and clear as if there's nothing wrong with you. Your bloods are fine, stool tests are fine. You're tired of researching TikTok, Instagram, YouTube just for some answers to give you some relief. You have these weird, unexplainable symptoms as well. Here's a list of symptoms that I dealt with personally that you can have a look at. You've tried conventional methods. Maybe you've tried to take a probiotic. Maybe you've tried more fiber. Maybe you've tried tweaks in your diet and you still haven't got the results you are looking for. Then this is the video that you should be watching, right? I recommend you watch this. And we're going to go over the core system, which I used and I used to help people heal their gut issues for life. And if you just spend the next 10 minutes watching this video, you'll be further than 90%, maybe even more, of people who are dealing with gut issues. Okay. Now, first of all, who the hell am I? Why the hell should you listen to me? Well, I dealt with every single one of these symptoms, and I was literally in this position a couple of years ago. You can see here that I was struggling a lot with gut health symptoms. I was really, really in a bad way. And again, we can have a look at the symptoms here: brain fog, stomach cramps, diarrhea, anxiety, bloating, nutrient deficiencies like iron, B12, folate as well, fatigue because of the deficiencies, always ill, urgency to the toilet, overactive bladder, no muscle, it's meant to say gain, high food sensitivities, and mood issues. I had everything, all the symptoms, and it was all coming from the core system of my gut was broken. Now, this is the system I used to heal my client. I won't say his real name, we'll call him Steve. Steve, when we started working together, we in my coaching practice, we always rank symptoms, and that helps us track how the person's getting on progression wise, and we can also see exactly what specifically we need to do for them. So when they first came to me, Steve was like, my bloating's a 10 out of 10. It's so bad. Constipation is a 9 out of 10, super bad. And he was vomiting every single day. In 60 days, sorry, my phone went off for a sec. 60 days, we got his symptoms to a 3 out of 10 bloating, which we still got more coaching wise, and we know why he's getting that extra bloating. So we're going to make it a 0 out of 10, practically guaranteed. His constipation from a 9 out of 10, that is severe constipation, to 0 out of 10, meaning he does not have it anymore. Vomiting every single day from a 7 out of 10 to a 0. And you're going to get a testimonial from Steve soon. But this is just an example of one of my clients. And this wasn't special. Steve wasn't special. He just followed a system that we gave him. And it wasn't even that difficult. And you too can follow the same system. Now, of course, there's going to be, how rude of me. Let me turn off my phone for you guys. You too can follow the same system. Now, there's going to be caveats and there's going to be different things that you might have to follow. But for the the core system itself, it's going to stay the same for you guys. And the full coaching that we do is 90 days as well. So we're going to get the results for him. But let me show you what we did for him. Okay. This is the core system that in the back of my mind, in the back of your mind, you should always be keeping there to kind of refer back to, right? Now, there are these macro pillars of gut health. A lot of people think gut health is just what they put into their body, but they don't think about how the food is actually digesting once it's in your body. Okay. So the first thing that I always like to do, let's say that you are a coaching client of mine, I am going to audit your diet and nutrition, right? Let's have a look at some red flags that you might be doing. Diet and nutrition is the foundation. And of course, you have to make sure that the input is good. Let's have a look if you're really going wrong, right? In terms of the kind of 5 main things we're looking at is high gluten, high lactose dairy. A lot of people struggling to digest lactose, seed oils, right? Vegetable oil, sunflower oils, refined sugar, alcohol, maybe even caffeine as well. We're going to have a look at this. We're going to audit your diet and we're going to get that in a good position. So we can say that diet is covered. And maybe it's going to be specific to you, right? If you're dealing with gastritis, you need a low acid diet. If you're dealing with SIBO, you need a low FODMAP diet. Again, you can see how there's going to be differences depending on your situation. Okay. Next thing that we can do once we know that the diet's in a good place is fix motility. Now, maybe your motility is fine and we don't need to cover this, but maybe it isn't. It most likely isn't. Motility states or refers to the speed in which stool moves through your body, right? So, constipation, diarrhea. If you're dealing with constipation, now I refer to constipation as not going to the toilet every single day. Therefore, if you're not going to the toilet every single day, we need to fix that. Our goal here is to make sure we go to the toilet every single day. And that's what we did for Steve over here, right? We gave him our constipation protocol, and literally, he, in his own words, night and day, he got the bloating, or more so the constipation down, of course, because that's motility, and the bloating started to come down as well. And then we worked into other areas, which was supporting gut function, right? Let's get an example up here, actually. So, your gut function, specifically your upper GI function, is going to include your enzymes, your stomach acid, your bile. These are all the things that are going to break down your food, right? Upper GI. So, it doesn't matter if you're eating pizza or rice or bagels or whatever. Like, if you don't have sufficient stomach acid, enzymes, bile, you're going to get digestive issues. So, we might then support your digestive function. Maybe we need to do some short term enzymes, right? Maybe we need to support stomach acid. Maybe see if there's any root causes of stomach acid that's going on, right? Maybe checking your thyroid, if that's an issue, would be worth doing with your doctor. Maybe just because you've been on a load of antibiotics, maybe because you're constantly stressed, so you can't get in a rest and digest state, which is optimal for digestion. There's a few little things that we have to look into, and maybe we support digestive function with acidic foods like lemon, maybe betaine HCl, which is a really good supplement to support digestive function as long as you don't have gastritis. Okay, that's going to be really important, and that's what we did for Steve as well. And he got his bloating down a lot because there was an element of upper GI dysfunction going on. Then we need to potentially do a kill phase, right? Kill phase refers to killing off overgrowths. Examples of overgrowths would be SIBO, Candida, H. pylori. Okay, these are bacterial fungal overgrowths that they can colonize your gut microbiome, right? Which you don't need to overcomplicate it. It's not that difficult. It's just like your gut bugs, right? Your gut bugs, your ecosystem in your digestive system, there might be an issue. Traditionally, in a normal gut, you'd have 90% good and 10% bad. That's healthy. But if the good has been brought down too much and the bad has overcolonized, that's when you can kind of get issues where H. pylori, Candida can start to overgrow, and that's where you get gut health symptoms. So potentially, we need to reduce the negative bacterial overgrowth before we then replenish the good. So that's what a kill phase would do. Now, we would need to make sure that detox pathways are open. We also use a biofilm disruptor as well, okay, to make sure that we do the kill phase properly. This is one of the biggest mistakes that people make in their gut health protocol. They hear that they have like candida and they're just like, oh my God, and they go take antifungals without doing any of the prep, any of the starting phases, and they don't do any of the replenishing after the kill phase. They have no idea why they had candida in the first place, so then it ends up coming back, right? So you need to follow this system and you need to have a right protocol if you want to get relief, right? And we're not looking for, some people take like antibiotics, which can be good for some, but might help them like for a month and then they end up getting it back. I'm not interested in short-term solutions. Sure, we'll get you quick wins, but I'm looking for, let's make sure that your gut is good in 5, 10, 20 years so that we don't have to think about this anymore. That, you're sorted for life. That's what we're interested in. Okay. And that's what I want to teach you as well, because once you actually understand the system, then you can use it for the rest of your life. Okay. So that's when a kill phase might be important for you. Okay. And that's not necessary for everyone, but if through testing, through your timeline and also symptomology, right? You don't even need to do testing to find out if you have candida, bro. Like if you have a yellow tongue and you have other fungal issues on your body, it's pretty likely you have candida, right? And then we can do a kill phase for candida. Now, so a question that I oftentimes get a lot is like, well, how do I know if my stomach acid is low? Or how do I know if this? How do I know if that? Let's take low stomach acid, for example. If your bloating is being caused by low stomach acid, why not just give you the solution and see if it helps you, right? Why not give you, now an easy way to deal with stomach acid or to support it short term is maybe just introducing like lemon or apple cider vinegar before our meals to boost our stomach acid, right? That's basic. Then you could just trial that. If that helps you at all, then it's pretty clear that maybe stomach acid is something you need to work on instead of like obsessing with, do I have this? Do I have that? Let's give you the solution and see what works for you. That's what I like to do anyway. Then we've got heal and replenish, which is, I'll have to make a whole video about this, but really diving deep into healing leaky gut and rebalancing that good bacteria that we mentioned. And really, that's where a lot of the work and long-term work is done. Okay. Then detoxing optimization. I mean, there's a whole world of gut health that we can do. I mean, there's even like these detoxifying products that you can get from Taiwan, 3 years fermented enzymes that are going to clean all the rotting fecal matter that you have in your gut. It's gross, but it's true. And that's how you really get amazing results. We can use binders, things that can grab onto toxins in your gut, right? These are more advanced stages, but definitely important. Okay. And then there's obviously ongoing support areas, right? These aren't necessarily time restricted. We don't need to do this in a path that this might need to be done in, right? So there's some areas that you would need to work on alongside this. So your lifestyle and environment, right? You can follow this system, but if you're sleeping 2 hours a day, like, come on now. Your sociability, are you your environment? Are you around really toxic people? Are you putting toxic products on your skin every day? These things are important as well. And emotional health, if you are dealing with some emotional conflicts, right? There's a whole world of medicine called German New Medicine, which states that any unresolved emotional conflicts can and will cause disease in the body. So if you're dealing with unresolved emotional conflicts, then we would need to address that during this process as well. If you were to sit down and say, hey, I only got gut issues when I don't know, had a pretty serious life event, then maybe there's some emotion around that you need to learn how to release, right? Nervous system as well. Nervous system is really important, right? That kind of ties into lifestyle, but are you treating your nervous system with care? How much are you burdening your central nervous system every day? Are you watching TikTok every single day, listening to loud music, really hard working in the gym, and then really stressed at work? These are all things that are going to tax your nervous system and really struggle for you to heal your gut health, right? These are the main foundations and the core system that you need to learn about. And this might be the first time that you've ever heard about something like this. You might have just thought that, oh, I thought it was just what I was eating. No, no. And I definitely have simplified this today. Okay. It goes deeper than this. And there's a whole world of things that we can talk about here. But this is just a system that you kind of need to understand. Okay. And if any of you need help with this, just go to the top link in my bio and I can help you work out what your bottlenecks are, what you need to work on. Maybe create a plan for you, maybe actually help you follow this, maybe figure out what you're dealing with as well. Maybe you have no idea that you're dealing with symptomology we can work out. And by following this symptom, all these symptoms went away, guys. The severe anxiety went away, no more deficiencies, fatigue was gone, my muscle could grow, sensitivities went. So you have to understand that pretty much most of your health issues are just stemming from your gut. If you want to fix your gut, you got to follow a system. And I believe that this is the best system because it works for me and my clients. Okay. Any comments, leave them down below. I will reply to every single one, hopefully, unless it goes viral, then maybe not. But then until then, goodbye.